In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Let us pray for peace and justice. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
Mary, seat of wisdom,
Pray for us.
in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
If you went to Washington and if you are sleeping, I will be merciful. But it is not a obligation. Okay, this morning we have to study society. But by the way, if you miss a class, if ever you want to watch the class, you can give me, pass me a flash drive for at least 5 gigabytes. And I can put that on, 4 gigabytes is enough. I can give that to you, you can put that on your computer. So it's up to you, I will not run after you. But if you want to have that, I can give it to you. Okay, this morning we are going to study what is society. But not at a sociological point of view, but at a philosophical point of view. First, if we look at the reality, society is a fact. Man is a social animal. We live in society. And when we are born in a society, in a family, and also in a society we call a country, or town, etc. So that is a fact. And you see, it's so important that Aristotle said that man is a social animal. Social animal. So the question is, first, what is society? And secondly, is society a natural reality or a conventional or contractual reality? The question is very, very important. And the answer is more important than the question. Because if the society is natural or society is conventional or contractual, that changes the way we have to live in that society. We will see that. That is the object of the class. If we look at the history of philosophy, you will see that for the Greek and for the Middle Age, society is something natural. The family is natural, and also the civil society, the society of country, is not something considered as natural. But in the 18th and 19th century, some philosophers, they ask questions about that. And you have two in particular who have a great influence on the conception of society. In England, it is Hobbes, and in France, it is Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Both of them, they deny that society is natural. For them, society is something conventional. That means in the state of nature, man was born without being social, without belonging to a society. For Hobbes, and we study that when we study what is the state, man is anti-social. The contrary of Aristotle. So Aristotle says man is social. Hobbes said no, man is anti-social. It is the state of constant fight, predatory warfare. There is a famous sentence from Hobbes who said, "Homo homini lupus." And that is, man, Homo, man, is a wolf, or lupus, a wolf for man. Man is a wolf for man. That is the conception of Hobbes. And because man is always in situation of fighting, struggling, defending, attacking, finally he was tired with that. And they say, okay, let us put together our might and let us create a society. Society for us is contractual, is conventional, contractual. Rousseau, on the contrary, he says man was a good savage, and it is society which destroys his innocence. Man is joyful and innocent, but when he is with others, he becomes a bad man. The contact with others corrupts. That is the theory of Rousseau. So man, through his intellect, discovered according to Rousseau and others, the advantage of cooperative action, and they frame, we call, both of them, they speak about the social contract. Social contract. So our society is founded on the social contract. What did Jefferson said about when he wrote the Constitution? Man, people, by the people and for the people. By the people. So the society is made by the people. That means society is a contract. Contract is not natural. In fact, many of our constitution, France, and here, United States, they are, in fact, very influenced by the Enlightenment. You know what is the Enlightenment? 18th century. Enlightenment. Enlightenment. And who is there? Voltaire, Rousseau. In England, you have obviously Locke, John Locke. Yeah. All those people are at the time when they deny, if you want, they reject the idea of natural law, natural society, and they affirm that society is contractual society, conventional reality. So man is the cause of the passage from the state of nature to the state of society. Before society, man is living in nature, like another animal. But man, because he is intelligent, he is passing from the state of nature to the state of being a social animal, society. So the social dimension of man, for those philosophers, is the fruit of the will of man. And that is very, very important. Will have very great consequences in politics, in the rest of sociality. Because the problem is there. What is the foundation of society? Is the foundation nature, or is the foundation the will of man? So for them, society is not natural. Society, in fact, for them is something artificial, arts, the fruit of the will of man. Men organize their relation in society. Convention. Hobbes, for example, counsels a complete submission to Leviathan. Leviathan it was the monster in the Bible. So Leviathan will be, in fact, the king. The king of England. Hobbes was the philosopher of the king of England. So he has to speak in the sense of the king. So, like Bacon also. So, I give an application to that today. You know, in some countries, like in France, for example, that they teach in school the theory of gender that comes from the United States. That means gender is not something natural. Gender is cultural. So you are born girl or boy, so it's not natural. You know, what makes you really a man or a woman, it is the culture. So if the culture says you can put two men together or two women together, no problem. You know? That is coming from that here. Huh? What is the foundation? For us, as a Catholic, as Christian, we affirm the foundation is nature, natural law. Huh? But if you say the foundation of society is the will of man, but you reject the idea of nature as foundation. And the consequence of that is very serious. Because if you reject the nature as the foundation of society, you reject also the author of nature. So what is the author of society is man. And for us, the author of society finally is God. And be attentive when you say, when it is written in your bill, in God we trust. What kind of God? It is the God of nature, or is the God of the society organized? In fact, when we study philosophy of God, we saw that with you. Remember the difference between deist and theist. Huh? Theist and deist. Now, the theist recognize that God exists, is the creator, and they recognize that God can communicate with us, and we recognize that we have a personal relation with God, and that God continues to take care of us. But deists, they say, okay, God created the world, but after that, it is your business. I take my rest for the rest of eternity, and you, man, take responsibility, do everything. And that is the God of the Freemasonry. Is the God of encyclopedia. Is the God of enlightenment. Is the God of ops. Is the God of Locke. Is the God of Jefferson. Is the God of Washington. Is the God of Franklin. Don't forget that. We should not be surprised today that our philosophy, our Supreme Court reject the idea of the natural law. We speak about God, we won't speak about the same God. Or we don't have the same conception of God. Okay, so that, you know, everything is linked. Huh? The conception of society, the conception of man, the conception of God, they are linked together. You know? So we are not surprised that those who deny the natural foundation of society, at the same time, they are inclined to deny that God is the foundation and continue to take care of us. Of course, God exists, but He does not take care of us. It is an architect, he is a maker, a clock maker, but after that the clock functions by itself. You know? So we are the master of the world. We have the master of the truth. We have the master of the good and evil. We can decree abortion is good, abortion is evil. In fact, it is the triumph of legality over morality. We saw that last class. Huh? The triumph of morality, legality over morality. And unfortunately, our society, democracy, are based on legality. You know, there is a limit to democracy, and that limit is here. It is by the will of man, and not by the will of God.
I'm sorry, Father, the triumph of legality over, what did you say? The triumph of legality.
Legality over morality.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, so now there is another current in the 19th century, at the end of the 19th century, after Darwin, we call the theory of evolution applied to society. And in that theory of evolution, especially with Herbert Spencer, in fact, materialism levels man to animal. We are animal. We consider So we will understand society as a group of animals like bees, like ants, like sheep. So, of course, man is naturally sociable. He will say that. But the word nature has not the same meaning. Naturally sociable, but that means only instinctual gregariousness. Gregariousness. Man is gregarious. That means is a gregarious in Latin means fold, flock. Gregarious. Is living like a fold. You have the first one, and now the other they follow. That is the conception of evolution. Evolution. And in that conception, of course, the word nature has not the same meaning as we have. You know, the problems, many times we discuss with some people, they speak about nature. Nature for them is biology, is physics, is not the nature we understand, including spirituality, including all those things. For us, nature is not only material. My soul is also natural. My soul is natural. It's part of my nature, but it is spiritual. My thought is natural. Or my thought is not material. My thought is spiritual. My act of love, my act of will, my act of freedom is natural. Is not material. So we cannot reduce nature only to material. But the conception of those people, now when we speak about nature, it is material. And when we speak about the science of nature today, we speak about only matter. Yeah? So it is equivocal. The word nature is equivocal. Like the word God is equivocal. And the God of taste and the God of days. The concept of nature according to Aristotle, St. Thomas, and the concept of nature according to the evolutionist, materialist. Okay? So the argument for natural society. In fact, a society is many times considered as an organism. An organism. In an organism, you have many functions. So we can say first man abhors solitude. Man craves for companionship. We need to be with others. A normal man, a normal woman needs to be with another. In that in the Bible there is a sentence. It's not good for men to be alone. We need to talk, no? And when we want to punish someone, go to your room. Or in the corner. Or at school, they say, you know, that guy, nobody will talk with him. Nobody is condemned to be in quarantine, apart. So it is not good for men to be alone because of his intellect and his will. We need to know, we need to be in contact. And it is expressed through our language. Our language. And our will also. We need to communicate with others. It is in our nature. When suppose you receive a good news this morning, a call, and they say, you know, you won the lottery, Connecticut lottery. What you will do? Hey, mother, father, you will communicate that. It is exactly what Francis, our Pope, says. When you have a good news, what we do? Communicate. To share with others. Because we are social. We cannot live to. But we are social by necessity also, because when we are born, we need absolutely our mother. Maybe we can get rid of the father, but we need our mother. We cannot survive without a mother. Another thing, the gift of language. If you think about, we started the philosophy of man, huh? The richness of language. I don't have time to review, but it is so wonderful to be able to talk, to communicate our thought, our emotion. Huh? And language is not only through talking with our tongues, but it is also through our heart, our culture, our technology. We can express our feeling, our emotion, our ideas through material reality, the importance of art, mass media, all those things. And today is never the world was so united through the internet. You are in the United States, but you can take a little device in your pocket, taka, 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 and the answer in Vietnam, no? We are close. Communication. Okay? So, and another point also, society is necessary to the development of the intellect and the will. We cannot develop our intellect alone. We need our educate, our father, mother, school, etc. Books, and our will also, moral life. Our moral life cannot be developed alone. We are educated, we are formed, we are raised, we are formed in a family, in a city. So necessity of constant communication of idea and also of love. Not only we want to communicate what we think, we want to communicate what we feel, our emotion, our love, our desire for happiness, etc. So the conclusion of that, man is social by nature. For that, yeah, common sense, no? Is it by convention that you are in a family? It's not by convention, it is by nature. Yes, brother.
Well, for animals who are in herd and live in the same manner, the only difference would be the morality obligation between animal and human.
More than morality, because there is no morality if there is no intellect. In fact, it's exactly what we study. The difference between animal society and human society is that we are intelligent. So we reserve the word society strictly to human. So what is a society? What are the characteristics of society? First, in any society, you must be many. Plurality, no? No? There is no society made by only one person. A society implies plurality of persons. Plurality. Multiplicity of persons. At least minimum 2. Where? Marriage, family. That is the foundation. 2, minimum 2. And only with rational being. Because society is based on mutual knowledge and common will. Common will. Secondly, there must be a common interest, communness of interest. Common interest. I don't speak here only about natural society, I speak about any kind of society. When people go together, meet together, to play golf, to play baseball, they can create a club. A club is a society. Okay? But if you create a club, if you have a team only for one night, okay? Is it a society? No. A society must be permanent, must continue. We get stability, permanence. Stability, permanence.
You know, the book didn't say permanent, the book said enduring, which I thought was subtly different. So you're saying it has to be permanent?
Yeah, permanent, enduring, continuing, It's not only for a few weeks, for example. We can organize a society for a few weeks. A society is something permanent. It can be a temporary organization. You organize, for example, a trip to Washington. It's not a society. It's not permanent. Okay. Another thing very important, we said that there is a common interest, therefore there must be cooperation to its common good, a common good. And that idea of common good is central. We will speak about that. And I invite you to read here, Compendium 384 and Social about common good. Because common good is central in any society. The problem of common good. What is the common good? Who is responsible for the common good? You know? There is no society without cooperation between the members to the common good. For example, in a family, father and mother are cooperating with the children for the common good. To feed the children, to educate the children. Even the children must share in the common good by obeying, by working, by being quiet when it is time to be quiet, to sleep, when it is time to go to bed, etc. So cooperation. What is the meaning of cooperation? Operations, to work together, to work together. And that is opposed to selfishness. So in a society, in fact, we are working not for my own interests first, but for the interests of the whole. That is the difference between my own. For example, I put my money into a bank. That is for my own interest. If we are many together, we call cooperative. In Quebec, about 100 years ago, a layman, Mr. Desjardins, invited people to put their money together. They created a cooperative, a bank. Now it is one of the most powerful banks in Canada, like Columbus, the same thing. So that is, it is different that I put my own money for me. We put our money together, not only for me, but for the good of others. Because I know if we put our money together, we can arrive to a better result. And that will be for everyone, not only for me. You know? That is important. The end is excessively important and everything. We study that soon. I will continue. The final cause, the motivation, etc. At the end. So the end, in fact, it is what gives form to the society. If you have a society to have fun, to develop your muscle, to have you create a hockey game, a hockey team, or you create a football team, you know. Well, and to one man. That is the end is already informing and giving a form to your society. It's not the same if we meet together to put our money together, or to put together our cows and our sheep. That is for a farmer. The farmer do that in the country. They put together their thing, so they can buy things. Cooperative, farm cooperative. We'll come back on that. In fact, the end, the common good, the common good, determines the nature of a society. We can have a golf club or Saint Vincent de Paul society, but it's the end to take care of the poor. You know, we have our town, your village, your congregation, your diocese, any company, General Ford, General Motors, General Food. So every company, every society, any kind of society has a common good, and that common good is at the same time the end of that. And that is the four. So the first, plurality of people with a common interest, and linking them, because we are not two together if we have no link, you know. Third, stability, permanence, duration. Four, cooperation to its common good, so in the end, and finally, united by moral bonds or moral obligation. Huh? Moral bonds to the nature of the society. Huh? Moral bond. In fact, we have right and duties. Huh? Right and duties. Huh? Right and duties. In a society, you have duties, but at the same time, you have right. You are in a congregation, you have duties, but also at the same time, you have right. In my society, I have duties, but at the same time, I am everywhere. In every family, in every organization. Okay? So, but the moral bond can be obtained either by contract, contract. When you enter a conventional society, you sign a paper. For example, when I became a member of the Society of the Missionary of the Holy Apostle, I profess, I make my profession, and I sign paper. No, it's a contract. Tomorrow, Brother Skips Thompson will be a perpetual commitment to the Society of the Holy Apostle. It's a contract. And they are witnesses, and we sign, like a marriage, is a contract. Huh? Okay? By natural law or civil law, we can be in, that society can depend on, the moral bond can be found on moral law, like marriage, or also on civil law, like marriage also. Because marriage, a family, is bound by moral law. Nature is bound also by civil law. Many things. Or it can be also, okay, that's the two way. In fact, a crowd is not a temporary, the people, they go to attend a Super Bowl. Are they a society? No. They are not a society. They are not morally bound. They have to pay. It's finished after. It's a commutative justice. Because in society, we will see that the soul of any society is justice, but it is not commutative justice. It is called distributive justice. Distributive justice. We saw that last class, you remember. And finally, sixth reality in any society, it is authority. That is a big problem also everywhere. In your family, when you are 16 years old, the problem of society. In the United States, the federal government, authority. That is a big problem. So a society must be equipped with moral power. In fact, if I am bound by moral obligation, there must be an authority to which I will answer. So it is the authority. What kind of authority? What is the foundation of authority? That's the problem. Is the foundation of authority in God? Because it is a natural society, or it is the will of the people. Okay. So, in fact, what is the role of the authority? Authority, it is to determine the means, how we are going to work in such a way we will attain the common good. In fact, the authority indicates not the common good. The common good is already in the Constitution. The common good does not depend on the superior of a congregation. The common good does not depend on the Pope. The common good depends on the foundation of the society. I mean, for example, in the United States, the Constitution. In your community, the rule of the congregation. Okay? But the superior, the president of a country, the CEO of a company, they indicate not the common good, but they indicate how the people, the member of the society must act, must work together, cooperate to attain the common good. They indicate the way. That is a function, and they direct the member to the use of the means. We will study that in detail, and that is only the introduction. Huh? After that, I will take one part by one subject. So, make a synthesis of that. We can see that a society is an enduring, permanent, enduring, first, union of a number of persons. Union of a number of persons. Secondly, morally bound under authority. Morally bound under authority. And three, to cooperate for a common good. So we have all the elements in that definition. Everything is here. The 6 elements are there. It is a union of member of person, morally bound under authority to cooperate for a common good. So if we apply that to the 4 causes, you remember the 4 causes? Intrinsic causes, extrinsic causes. Did you know that? I can erase that?
Yes.
Yes, okay. You have the intrinsic causes and extrinsic causes. What are the 2 intrinsic causes? Material and form. Matter and form. And the 2 extrinsic causes? Efficient and final. Okay? So we can apply that to society. The material is the members, of course. The formal is the moral bound. The moral bound. Here, formal. But what gives the form? It is the moral bound, the common good, etc. Efficient. What is the efficient God? Well, we have the founder, of course, the founder, the creator of the company, of the founder, for us, God, the founder of the family is God, and the leaders, for its continuation, that the leaders for the continuation, the authority, the authority is here, authority, leaders. And finally, here, it is the common good. The common good. The common good is the end. So here you have the 4 elements. But if you look attentively, the common good is linked with the formality. We saw that when we studied the causality. The formal and the formal cause is linked with the final cause. Final cause. In fact, they are together. We cannot separate them. We can distinguish them. So, at the point of view of metaphysics, if you take, you remember, being is divided in 10 categories. You remember that? Substance and accident. What is the accident which expresses a society? Is it quantity? Is it quality? It is relation. Essentially, society is made with relation between persons. No? Okay? So a society is made of a number of relations. But those relations can go everywhere, but they must be unified and systematized, coordinated into an order. So, when we speak about society, we speak about relation, but not any kind of relation, order, in an order. And you realize that to put that in an order, that suppose you are going to a common good. And because you tend toward the common good together, you must have a shepherd. You must have an authority. The role of the authority is only to guide the sheep toward their end, to green pasture. No. The role of any authority is to allow the people to attain the goal, the common good of their society. Well, it is so common that we don't think about that. For example, you have a football team, basket team, hockey team. Every player decides what he will do. I want the puck. You want the puck? Okay, let us give a puck to each one. Finish. We need a coach. What is the coach? It is the boss, the authority. And it is the one who indicates to the player how we have to play in order to attain the common good. What is the common good of the team? It is to lose. No, it is to win. Each one in the team wants to win. But sometimes each one wants to win to his own way. And the coach said, no, that way. Huh? That way. So they coordinate the play of the... That is the authority. The authority is unnecessary. Authority is necessary in any society. Because society is made with relation, and relation of free being. So the authority is not exercise a power, physical power, is exercising a moral power. Is a moral power. That means the authority is on your will. The coach in your team is not working on your muscle. Is working on your will. Even in sport, authority, the coach has a moral power. A moral power. And your parent has also a moral power. And when they use too much physical power, we say they abuse. They abuse. In fact, authority is essentially a moral power. Okay. So that, that relation is not only in my mind, that relation is outside of my mind. It is a real relation. Society is based not on the mind of man, it is based on the reality outside of the man of man. The relation between a father, a mother, and their children is not in my mind first. It is in the reality. And because it is in the reality, I can see that in my mind. You understand? And the distinction is a real distinction. Society is a reality. Those relations are being. They are not, it's not only in my mind, it is independent of my mind. The relation between spouses, between children and their parents, the relation between the citizens and the authority of the country is not only in my mind, it is outside of my mind, independent of my mind. It is a real relation. So society is a reality. Of course, I cannot see society like that. Nobody sees, or we say USA. USA is not the society. It's a symbol expressing a union of 300 million people living together and trying to live in peace together. It's already, imagine 3 million people, they live without fighting continually. Or sometimes they kill one, they kill another there. But you know, the civil war does not continue, stop. It's not a normal state for a state to be in civil war. It's not a normal state between husband and wife to be in state of divorce. Fighting. The normality of the society, it used to have good relation. So society is, in fact, a moral being. It is also in a moral person. Moral person, that is important. Why? Because if it is a moral person, society can have rights and duties. You understand, huh? A moral person is a subject which is a subject of right. We saw that last class, huh? And a subject of duty. Society is a moral person. That means society possesses right, and society possesses also duty. Any society, take a civil society have rights, right to organize the society, to put order, to even to send you a letter saying you have to pay such amount of taxes. But at the same time, society has a duty to protect you, to furnish you clean water, security, you know. That is a living person. It is the reason why, when we study, you remember distributive justice and commutative justice, I can make a contract with a society. It is what I did when I entered the Society of the Holy Apostles. It is what we did when you entered your congregation, no? When you will enter a diocese, is the same. It is a contract, not with your bishop. You know, when you will be kneeling in front of your bishop, and he will take your hand, he put you see, my son, do you promise me obedience to me and to my successors? It is not a contract with that bishop. That bishop dies, no more, no, I have no more obligation. No. My superior died, no, I am a free sister. No. You make a contract with a person, a moral person. And that moral person is your congregation. So a society is very important. It's the reason why a society has rights. Society has duties. A society can be sued, or a society can be recognized and can have a medal. You can give a medal to, and that kind of, for example, they are called comparison between countries every year for the quality of life. I am a humble Canadian, but I must say that 2 times we were the first country in the world to have the best. It was never published in the United States. And that is a society. A society is a personal. We can be blamed, we can be rewarded as a society. A society has a reputation, no? So when a member commits mistake, that is on the back of the society. It is a moral person. Okay? So that unified order is the result of human act. It is a decision of will, relating means to the end. So society is a moral being resulting from the simultaneous decision of many human wills to cooperate toward a common good. Even in a natural society, there is the will of the people. Look at your family. In the family is a natural society, but it is also because of the will of your father and mother to create a family. So we can be in a natural society at the same time using our will, you know. It's the same in any society. In fact, by the fact we are human and we live in a society, we cannot be, we are obliged to use our will. When you work for the common good, when you pay your taxes, when you stop at the right light, when at night you turn off your loudspeaker, you work because you will. You will. In fact, the common good of a society depends on the goodwill of the member. So even if the society is natural, the society cannot function without the goodwill, the morality, and the free will of the members. But the decision we take in a society, we saw that just before, can be founded either on nature or on pure convention. A golf club is not on the same level as a family. When a man Go here to Cromwell and sign to be in the golf club. Here you have a famous golf club here. That is conventional. But when your father and mother decide to live together and to create a family, that is a natural foundation. Natural foundation. It is not totally depending on their own will. They have to conform to nature. To conform to nature. Is the mistake, I think, of gay marriage. They don't conform to nature. But be careful. Nature for them is no more a reality. The reality is culture. So it is culture which makes the value of staying. So if a little boy decides to be a girl, okay, he will become a girl. But a girl wants to become a boy, become a boy. No problem. There is no difference. That is purely cultural. Now, all the society, every society, in fact, is for the good of each one. But the good of each one cannot be satisfied totally, because the good of each one must depend on a common good. I cannot appropriate the common good of a society. I can benefit of that. I cannot appropriate that. So what is the common good? If you read Mater et Magistrat of John the 23rd, he gives you a good definition on number 74 and 65 in Mater et Magistrat. Mother and teacher. Mother and teacher. By the way, if you don't have time to read this encyclical, I forgot to suggest you a very good book we call Our Best Kept Secret. I will come back on that with the book, okay? And that book we have the reference in your that book is excellent because it gives each encyclical or letter of American bishop in the detail. That means you don't have time to read 60 pages, but you have the time to read 2 pages. And they give the essential of every paragraph, and they give you the place. So if you don't have time, you can go to that book, and you go to Mater et Magistrat, and you go to number 74 or 65, when the Pope speaks about common good. So I say to you what is that. And another book, excellent, it is here, the Compendium, page 164, 165. Number 164, 165. It is the principle of the common good. The principle of the common good. I read only a few lines. Number 164. The principle of the common good to which every aspect of social life must be related, if it is to attain its fullest meaning, stems from the dignity and unity of equality of people. And further, the common good does not consist in the simple sum of particular good of each subject of a society. Belonging to everyone and to each person, it is and remain common, because it is indivisible, and because only together it is possible to attain it. Increase it and safeguard its effectiveness with regard to the future. That is excessively important, because the common good is an idea continually present in every encyclical of the books. So it's important to reflect. I give you here a short definition given by John the 23rd. He says that. Common good is the temporal welfare. Temporal welfare. Temporal, because it is in time and space. Welfare, because it is for the material good, not only the spiritual good. When we speak about common good, we speak both natural, material, and also spiritual, spiritual, of the community, temporal welfare, temporal welfare of the community, taken collectively, taken collectively. They mean together, not one by one, together. The whole, if you want, another word, the whole of the community. And distributively, distributive justice, distributively, that means here the individual. Here is the whole, and the distributively it is for the individual. In fact, there is two dimensions in the common good. There is a dimension of community, but at the same time, the common good is not only for the community, it is for the benefit of each one, everyone in the. So it is the reason why it is collectively, it is for the whole, but at the same time, it is distributively. That means everyone in the society has the right to take benefit of the common good. I give you an example. The common good, for example, we call roads, roads, highways. It's a common good, no? That common good is possessed collectively. Nobody in the United States can say, I possess the roads. No, it is collective. Even a private company who take care of the road, you know, the land belongs to the state, to the government, to the country. But you take benefit of that, no? Even if you pay 50 cents, you take benefit of that. So that is common good. Schools are common good, university, hospitals, electric system, etc., security, police, firefighter, a lot of things. In fact, everything in the society, all that is the common good. But it's not exclusive to one, it is for everyone. Everyone has the right to be protected by the police. Everyone has the right to be protected by the firefighter. Everyone has the right to be saved if he is sick or in danger of death, etc. Everyone has the right to study, to learn, so to go to school, etc. So, but the modality depends on each country. For example, to go to school in some country is totally free. In other country, you have to pay the modality, but it is all right. Okay. So the common good, in fact, is the end. Is the end for which a society exists. Any society is for the end. In many congregations, that end is expressed also sometimes through the charism. For example, the Sister of Charity of Calcutta, founded by Saint Blessed Therese of Calcutta, they are for the dying, for those who are the most abandoned in the society. You know, that is their charism. We say charism. In fact, it is their end. It is the end, and they have to work on that. And the superior of the community must supervise if their sister really go to attain that common good, that common end, that charism. You know, that is the role of the superior. So. If you look at that, you have here, the problem is already here. The social problem is here. Collectively, distributively. Common to all or individualist. So some system will insist on the collectivity. And you have socialist country, communist country. The means of production belong to the state, and the state control the common good. But distributively. Other society insist not on the connectivity, but insist on the individuality. Huh? Capitalism, capitalist country. Capitalist country, they insist on interest, self-interest. Huh? You have two tendencies. If you put the two tendencies to the extreme, they are wrong. Both of them, they are wrong at the extreme. So the church proposed a third way. A balance, a justice, huh? Just middle between the two. We call that the third way, huh? Where the common good is realized only in individual, but at the same time is realized in union with others. But the priority is to others. That's the difference between utilitarianism and the position of the church. We call this sometimes the third way, or the way of subsidiarity, or the way we call personalism. And I will add with you about maybe 9 classes about that. We spent 3 hours, 3 classes to study capitalism. We spent 3 hours to study Marxism, collectivism, socialism, and we spent 3 hours to study the position of the church. In fact, here we have, even in the definition given by John the 23rd, the social problem is here. To find a balance between the common good and the individual interest or individual need. In that, we see very well that the virtue leading that is distributive justice. But we cannot have a society without institution. We make, hospital, school, library, they are institutions. Roads are institutions. We need institutions. But the institutions are not the society. They are only means to share, to develop the common good. Schools, library, hospital, laboratory, police, military force, public and utilities, banks, etc. All those things are for the common good. They are institutions. An institution is endure as long as it is necessary. We develop an institution, and then individually it is necessary. Okay? An institution is an instrumental agency for storing and distributing the common good. Very interesting. For storing and distributing the common good. Storing the common good and distributing. I give you an example. A library, it is an institution where we store the common good. We store the knowledge, no? And at the same time, it's also an institution to distribute. You can take book, you can read, you can take benefit of that. Okay? Hospital, etc. So, the word of education, health, housing, food, all those things imply 2 things. We store and we distribute. And what is that in the country? Economy. What is economy? It is to store and to produce and to distribute. So the common good is, in fact, we cannot separate economy for every society. Even in the Catholic Church, there is economy. We are not angels. We will speak about that soon. But don't forget, economy is not an end. Economy is a tool. Banks are a tool. They are not an end. The end is the common good, the happiness of man, the development of every person. Paul VI in his encyclical Populorum Progressio, you see the end is the development. And the soul of that, the form, is social justice. And we saw that just before, that social justice is applied here because it is a question of distribution. we have to distribute the common good. For example, the government store money. It takes your money from your pocket, huh? From your cigarettes, huh? From your beer, and take that. And after that, you have to distribute that for hospital, for army, you know. Huh? And, we do that how? Using distributive justice. According to your need, according to your merit, your responsibilities. And another thing, the common good is something dynamic. Huh? That means the common good is always in progress. We never finish to attain the common good. Is the reason why there is always possibility for progress. Material progress, intellectual progress, moral progress. Unfortunately, we forget that dimension. And that is impossible to be attained without authority. So authority consists of the direction and the control of direct and control the members so that they can cooperate toward the common good. And we saw that, I repeat many times here. So no society can function without authority. What is the role of authority? A faculty, 3 roles. First, remedy ignorance. Not everyone knows how I can work for my country. So the government say, okay, you work, pay 6% of taxes on your candies. Okay? You want to eat more candies, pay more. Secondly, to enforce justice, because in every society, some people are tending to work only for their own interest. Selfishness is the vice of society. So there is authority to enforce justice. And finally, the role essential, it is to provide leadership. They are leaders. Essential function. To guide, they are the guide. Okay. So now I will say a word about that. The source, the foundation of authority. Well, we have two kinds. Conventional society, that means by the free agreement of men. In that society can be abolished. A golf club, for example, can be suppressed, But we cannot suppress family. We cannot suppress society. Society are natural, family are natural, and they are forever. As long as humanity will exist, family will be a reality, and the society cannot live, cannot function, cannot exist without a father and mother. Excuse me, gay people, but it's the reality. The future of a country is not on your shoulder. Now, natural society are conceived and required by nature. And the end of the society is not made by man, it is indicated by nature. We discovered that in the nature. For example, the nature of marriage, it's obvious, it is fecundity. It is universal. For any kind of animal, any kind of plant, the continuation of the species needs sexual relation. And that is nature. We cannot deny that. But now some intellectuals, they pretend that is culture. No, it's not culture, it's nature. So we are moral, a man living in any society is obliged, is morally obliged to work for the common good of the society. So the authority is not forcing you. The authority is only indicate you what you should do. The obligation is not coming from the boss, it's coming from your conscience, from your nature. No law, for example, will force your parent to love. But the law is sanctioning the love of your parent. Marriage is a civil contract. But marriage is natural. That means the two natural society, family and society, they don't depend on my personal will. Of course, I have to will to live in society. I have to will to contract a marriage with a woman or with a man, to have a family. But that is not from I'm not the creator of that. Very important. I am not the creator of that. Marriage is not a social and is not a civil creation. It's not the government we decide marriage is good, marriage is not good. Marriage is above any human will. Society is above any human will. In that we are forgetting that now. But everything happened in many countries, in Canada, in France, everywhere. Now we are in Western world denying, making the culture, the convention above nature. That means we put man above God. Is the original sin. We come back to the same thing as Adam and Eve. We want to make our own will instead of following the will of God. The problem is there. If you accept nature, you accept God. If everything comes to the will of man, you can get rid of God. So the philosophy of God and social ethic, they are linked also. Everything is linked. Huh? Everything is linked. Okay? So you can read that by yourself, it's not difficult. Huh? The conventional authority, natural authority. Men enter into natural society by the prompting of their human nature. If I am in a natural society, it's not because of my will, it is because of my nature. But I have to use my will to accomplish my role in the nature. You know, when people marry and they have children, they accomplish their will, and their will is to act according to their nature. They obey nature. When you obey the society, you work for the common good of the United States, of Vietnam, or Canada, you obey nature. You don't obey the government of Ho Chi Minh or Clinton or Barack Obama. You obey nature, the order of nature. So that means the authority of a country is not linked with the person in authority. It is above. But if you read the Constitution, the origin of the authority of the country is from the people. But we can go further. Saint Robert Bellarmine speaks about that. We will see that if we want to state the origin of the state. What is the origin of the state? Huh? Even if it is the people who vote, in fact, who gave them the power to vote? Who gives you the intellect to vote? And to will, it is, finally, we come back to God, the author of nature. So, okay, so read the text. It's not very difficult. And I suggest you to read also the other text attached to that. Huh? I cannot do that for you. It is for your benefit. Huh? And be sure it will be useful in the future. Have a good weekend. Take a rest.